In chaos or calm, your breath is your lighthouse, ever present, ever guiding, but only when consciously activated. When stress and uncertainty crash over you, one thing remains within your control: your breath. It's a lighthouse within, constant, unwavering, guiding you back on course. Some days the ocean is calm, the sun warm and the horizon clear. Other days the storm hits, waves crash and chaos reigns. Yet the lighthouse still shines. It doesn't move with the storm. It stands tall, its beam cutting through the darkness, guiding ships to safety. Your breath is that light. When life's waves are turbulent, it grounds you. When the sea is calm, it sustains you. But when your inner light fades, you drift. You lose direction and crash into burnout. Be the keeper of your own breath. Keep your lighthouse shining bright, because your breath will always guide you safely through the waves of life. So good afternoon and welcome to the Waves of Life. And as you've heard me just talk about, this is about having those breathing moments when chaos reigns and the waves are just crashing over you. And how do you breathe when it's calm and you want to stay connected at a higher level? So let's in fact jump straight in. I know we're going to have some other people joining us a bit late, and many people are grabbing the recording. So if you're watching the recording, absolutely privileged to have you here. And if you join me live, thank you very much. And if you are able to, keep your cameras on, because I love to get that interaction. And also let's use that chat as well. So I love getting feedback, because then I know I'm hitting the right zone there. But let's start with getting a bit connected, so we can forget about all the chaos that reigns around us all the time. And by doing that, we're going to be doing the feather breath. So this requires participation. If you've never done one of my masterclasses or sessions before, well, you'll know that this is a partake experience. It's not me speaking to you. It is part of that interaction. So this is what we're going to do. Thanks a lot. If you've got camera off, just give me a thumbs up that you can hear me and that you're ready to go, because I can see one lady, Helen's there. So this is what we do. Take your right hand and thumb and forefinger together. Put it in front of your nose, 10 centimeters in front of your nose, pretending that you have a feather. Pretend that you've got this imaginary feather. Mine is from a flamingo. On the lagoon here, we often get the flamingo feathers. And what you're going to do is, when I count you in from 3 to 1, you're going to let out your air, and then you're going to blow that feather. So you're going to let go of the feather and take short, sharp, deep breaths in and out your mouth to activate your diaphragm and really just get us focused. So you're going to pretend that you've got to blow that feather up into the air. Have we got that? Are we ready for this? All right. Go. So hold that feather 10 centimeters in front of our nose. I'm going to count you 3, 2, 1, letting your air out, and let the feather go. Blow. Keep that feather up. Come on, keep that feather up. Adele, I know you can do this. Let's go. Keep blowing, because like all of life, if you don't participate, you don't get anything out of it. And to activate your breathing, we need to breathe. Keep going. 5 seconds. You can do this. You can do this. Now take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Lift your arms up. Deep breath in. Lift your arms up, and a massive sigh to let it all go. There we are. Congratulations. You've just activated and awakened your nervous system. You've cleaned out that stale air which is sitting under your lungs, inside your lungs there. And if you're feeling a little bit lightheaded, you're feeling lightheaded, a bit starry, yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly normal. There we go. We've got some more people joining us. Welcome. Right. Well, we've just been doing the feather breath. Now, this is a phenomenal one. Thanks for the heart. This is a phenomenal one. At any point where you're feeling, down, I can't do this, I don't know what to do. Or if you've got kids, anybody got kids? You got kids? You got children? There we go. A few people got kids. Excellent. Well, if they're running around and they're a little bit annoying or frustrating to you, and you think, how can I just get them to focus on what I want? Well, get them to blow a feather around the garden. That'll get them going. It'll waken them up, and you'll have their attention, just like I've got your attention right now. Now, what I'm going to be sharing with you today is we're going to climb into a couple of really valuable breathing techniques that you can use literally in 60 seconds to change how you're feeling, how you're thinking, how you're reacting. But before this, a little bit of a story here. Wonderful that we've got some more people joining us. A bit of a story that I didn't always used to know what I'm going to share with you. Now, I call myself a breathwork alchemist, but I was in hospitality in 2018 before I walked out due to burnout. So, what is this breathwork alchemy? Well, an alchemist takes something which is heavy, something which is dark, rather not pleasant, and they turn this into light, into energy, into fun, into gold. So I use breath work to create an emotional change of state in people. So you can mentally, physically, and spiritually feel lighter, better, and more clued up. So that's what breathwork alchemy is. But it came to me in the most surprising of ways that I was not expecting. In fact, when breathwork first discovered me, I wasn't even looking for it. I didn't even know what breathwork was, but it was at tender young age of 51 that I took my first real deep conscious breath. And if today is the first time that you're joining me on a session or going through breathing, perhaps this is going to be that moment for you. So on the side of the screen there, you can see that photograph. Now, I took that picture the night I walked out of my corporate job due to burnout. I didn't even know what burnout was. I just knew that I could not continue in that state for so long. 27 years in hospitality, living in a high-stressed, high-anxiety state for so many years had eventually just taken its toll. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't know what was going on. I tried to reach out to my boss. That did not go well. I was running a very high-profile business in Cape Town, and hospitality, if anybody here has worked in that industry, does not sleep, which meant I didn't pretty much sleep either. Internally, I was disengaged from the world around me. My relationships with the family, tatters. My son was a teenager back then. And when I was at home, I was not a dad. I was just this angry individual that I was not connected at all. And the business I was running was struggling. It was suffering because I was not able to see solutions in the problems. In a state of what I now have come to call brownout, we're not able to see positivity. We only see negativity. We're living in a fear, fight, flight, stressed anxiety state on the verge of burnout. So I quit cold turkey. And I went on a 6-year journey of discovery to try and find out, who am I? Why am I here? And what do I actually want to get out of life? And it was during this that breathwork discovered me, and I started to implement it within my coaching clients. Now, backtrack a little bit. I've been doing speaking, mentoring, coaching since 2008. So many, many years now, sort of on the side hustle, if you want, of a business and the jobs that I had full time. And I decided to climb full in on this. And when I introduced breathing techniques and some of what I'm going to share with you today with my coaching clients in my full program, the results were amazing and profound. Since then, much has changed. I'm now an international speaker, and you can see some pictures on the screen there, speaking to corporates, teams, networks on how they can focus at a higher level, how to integrate breathing to reverse the silent slide into burnout. And if you are local, anybody here in Langebaan, I know we've got a wannabe Langebaan person on this call, but anybody else here has joined me for one of those breathwork sessions that you see on the screen there on the beach. Every Saturday morning, we do a breathe session and we welcome in the sun. This is what I love doing. So let's cover what we're going to be going through here today. So we're going to cover how to breathe in stormy seas, how to breathe in calm seas, and how to breathe for transformation. This is breathing through the waves of life. And I love it when people find true discovery of themselves outside of the chemical drug-filled space that unfortunately the doctors put us in when they don't know what else to do. So take a pill if you're feeling bad. Frustrating that this becomes people who become my clients anyway. Now, one of these clients, he wasn't on the chemicals for depression or anything like that, but he was stressed, burning out, struggling with anxiety. And that's George. I'm going to share a story with you very quickly here. So I met George through a network event, and George is in Canada, and he had been running for many, many years a multi-million-dollar IT company. But due to being in a stressed, burnt out state, he had lost his family. His kids had disconnected from him completely, and he was divorced. He was floating around feeling lost. Now, he says over there on that section, Tim sessions became my lifeline, helping me find calm, relax in my old self, transforming my life in ways I never thought possible, all through the power of breathing. And I'm going to share with you today a little bit of the journey that I took him through, because he joined my 5-week program and we worked extensively after that. So I love these things motivate and excite me. So what I want to do is just clarify a little bit about who we have on this call. So I'm going to launch here a poll, and I love your participation. There we go. You should have that now on your screens. There's 3 questions on here. The first question, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being extreme, how stressed are you during your average week? 1, you're chilled as a surfer. 5, there's a shark on its way, I'm stressed out. Then the second one, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being very low, 1 to 5, with 5 being very, how concerned are you with your health and well-being? And the third one, are you ready to commit to becoming a healthier, wealthier, and more fulfilled version of yourself? Give me an idea on that. And then just, I think you have to do all 3 of them. So we've got, first person is finished, says they're on a 3 on stress. And very concerned with health and well-being. Absolutely ready to take action. I want to, but not sure how. Thank you for saying that, whoever you are that said that, because that's a key part. I knew I needed to do something different, but I did not have a clue what to do, who to speak to, or where to go, which is why I'm looking at what I've learned and going, right, how can I take what I've learned and apply it to people who are in the position I was in? And absolutely ready. Well, you're ready. And you're here because you're ready to look. You either know you want a direction, we're perhaps connected before, as I know some of us have, or you're saying, it is time. So thanks for filling that in. And wow, there we go, 1 person who has said, yep, 5 is their level of stress on a weekly basis, which is pretty much a vast majority of us around the world. So thank you for sharing. Now, let me just get rid of that. There we go. On the screen is a QR code. If you say, yes, I'm ready to do something about it, or yes, I am, but I don't know what to do, let's connect on a call over there. So scan that QR code, or if you go to the chats, you'll actually see there's a link. Please just click on that link. You've got it open there. That takes you directly to my calendar. Book a time to chat with me. Now, I just want to quickly share with you, this is not a sales call that I'm going to be doing with you. It's a, how can I help you? What is your greatest problem? And when you do connect with me, I'm going to give you a 750 Rand gift as well. So if you're not in South Africa, 750 Rand in dollars is, I don't know, what's that, $40 or something like that. But it's my gift to you when you do connect with me, so that I can see how I can give you personal tips to help you on your stress journey, feeling better, calmer, less pain, less anxiety, whatever it is. But I'll bring that up later on as well. But that's my gift for you. This is me seeing how I can help you. So let's jump in. We've gone through some basics. I've given you 1 breathing technique already. So let's climb into, what do you do when the when the seas are stormy? What do we do when the seas are stormy? So we want to find out how stormy they are for you. So we're going to play with a breathwork count. In other words, I'm going to ask you to count how many breaths you take. And one of the key reasons for this is to help identify how stressed we are. And I'll explain more afterwards. Now, the statistics around stress and anxiety and burnout are extremely worrying. They're very scary. Gallup does polls frequently. So Gallup does international polls where they have a look at the mental health of the workplace. They have recently launched their 2025 World Emotional Health Report. And in that report, it states that 36% of people are living in a constant state of pain. Ooh, 36. That means 1 in 3 people are living in pain. That should not be the way. 72% of people, according to their report from last year, experience burnout in their careers. So would you agree that we have a problem on our hands? People are not healing internally. They are in a disconnect from themselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. And this is why I'm here to share some of these things with you of how we can break outside of that. So let's count our breaths. Now for this one, it's quite simple. You're sitting down comfortably. Your arms are either in your lap or just on the side somewhere. And all I want you to do is count how many in and out breaths you're taking in 1 minute. So that on the screen there is a countdown. It goes for 1 minute. You're going to sit in silence. It's a little bit subjective, this, because when you focus on your breathing, we naturally alter it. So try and just breathe in a normal pace as you would on normally base. However you breathe, mouth, nose, it doesn't matter. Alrighty, so we're going to do this for 1 minute. 1 breath is in and out counts as 1. All right? So I want you to count how many in and out breaths during that time. Okay. Are we ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready for this. Let's see. There we go. Thank you very much. For those who don't have the camera on, I'll assume you are. Oh, got fireworks. I'm going to count you in from 3 to 1. Let your air out and then take your first breath in. And I'll breathe along with you as well. 3, 2, 1. And stop. Please put in the chats down there, how many breaths did you take in a minute? How many breaths did you take? Just put in the chats. While you're doing that, I'm going to take you through this. If you breathed 12 or less, you're very fit and healthy. That is amazing, phenomenal. 10, 7. Wow. Okay, we've got a serious pulmonaut here. That is brilliant. I'll talk about that in a moment. That is amazing. Keep putting in the chats there. If you're breathing 12 to 16 breaths a minute, this is deemed as average. But the more you breathe, the higher state of stress you're likely in. So 16 breaths and above will indicate either you have a lung ailment, perhaps you've got asthma, you've been sick recently, or you're in a high stressed state. So keep putting there in the chats how much you breathe, how many times you breathed in a minute. It's a good idea to actually do this about 3 or 4 times during a week and then take an average so you can see where you are. So why is it dangerous to breathe faster? Because in theory, the more you breathe, the more oxygen, right? Would that be about right? The more I breathe, the more oxygen I have. Sure. Well, let's have a quick look here at how that goes. What happens when we're stressed? Imagine for a moment that you're standing on a curb. You're going to cross the street. You look left, you look right, you look left again. No cars. So you step out in front. You step out from the curb into the street. And as you step out, this car comes whizzing past you, screeching its tires as it goes around the corner. You jump back and you grab your bag, your tools and everything. In that moment, what happens? Do you breathe faster or slower? If you've got your camera on, And you think it's faster, point up. If you think it's slower, point down. We've got Helen says faster. Faster, says Alisa. Right. You breathe faster. Do you breathe in through your chest or your belly? Where do you think? When you breathe in, where does the air go? Does it go in your chest? Chest, yep. There we go. You breathe here. Does your blood pressure go up or does your blood pressure go down? So if everything goes up and you got your camera on, just point up. If everything goes down, point down. Right, there we go. We got ups. Yep, it goes up. Does your heart beat faster or does your heart beat slower? Faster. How many more fast? We've got any slow? Faster. That's correct. And do you breathe in through your mouth or your nose? We've got one mouth. We've got two mouths. Any other takers? Any noses? Yeah, there we go. You breathe through your mouth. That's because you've activated what is known as fear, fight, and flight, the sympathetic nervous system. Our bodies are designed to work like this. It's designed that when you're in that state of fear, when that car comes whizzing past, that you're going to take short, sharp breaths in your mouth, stress hormones kick in, cortisol, adrenaline kick in, the oxygen goes from your prefrontal cortex, your brain, sends it to your muscles and the vital organs that you need so that you can either run or flee. Fear, fight, flight. Now, here's our challenge that we have in the world. We're living in a constant state of being hit by a car. We're not able to slow down. Even when we're sleeping, your mind is racing. Anybody have that problem? The mental, just that we call the monkey mind. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. The cell phones, 5G, technology, TV, kids, drama, government, cash flow, business, diet, awful diet, bad water, all of these things just add so much weight onto our bodies. We are not able to reset. So even at night, we're not resetting. And when you're living in that high stress state for such a long period of time, eventually your body says, I'm done. And you crash. This is what John said. John was a client of mine last year, John Daniels, South African living in Scotland. And I loved his description where he said, life was like I was always pushing a boulder up a hill. I wanted to reduce the drag. I didn't know. He'd done many different protocols over the years. Phenomenal guy. He runs his own very large IT company. So he went on one of my deeper breathwork journeys that I'm going to share with you a bit later on. And his description was, Tim, it was like you moved my psychological sludge. And that was done all through the power of breathwork. So let's play a little bit. I want to share with you the resonant breathing technique. Now, I love this one. It's very much my go-to base protocol that I teach all my clients. I share this and teach it to professional speakers and business people. So a speaker is about to go on stage. Suddenly, maybe it's happened to you, you forget your name and you're meant to give a talk, or you're about to do a presentation at work and you think, but I can't just get this all right. As we say, the butterflies are flying all over the place. Well, this breathing technique is going to help them fly in sequence. It's called the resonant breath. And for this, you're going to sit peacefully. You're going to close your eyes and your hands are by your side. Preferably leaning against something so that you're very relaxed. So Fernanda, you're going to pay attention for this one as we're going to really reset. There we go. Got your attention now. I know we're all busy doing things, but to benefit from this, to understand it, means that we take it from your head into your heart. And that's the emotional change of state. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to count you from 3 to 1. You're going to take a breath in through your nose to the count of 5 and a breath out through pursed lips to the count of 5. And it's a continuous, so it's breathe in, breathe out. Now I'm going to count for you, but halfway through I'm going to stop counting, and I would encourage you to visualize and count in your head. There's a very important reason for this. I'll share with you afterwards. Okay? So, are we ready? Let's do this. Pens down, all calm, sitting there nicely. And let your air out. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in through your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out through pursed lips. 2, 3, 4, 5. In through your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. In through your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, count in your head. And out. And in. And out. One more. And in. And out. Now just sit there peacefully for a moment, feeling your heartbeat and the quiet in your mind. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How are we feeling? Calm, connected. Everything just sort of slowed down. Am I right? Okay. You slowed your breathing from whatever breathing state, and I know we've got some slow breathers there already, but when you're in a high stress state, you're breathing 15, 16, 20, 25. I've had a client breathe 40 times a minute before. Crazy stuff. It slows you to 6 breaths a minute. The ideal breath is 6 breaths a minute, in and out your nose. That is our opportune time. And when you're breathing in this state, sleepy, calm, sleepy, well, you need to do this more often. When we're breathing in this way, you're calming your nervous system. You're breathing through your nose into your belly, which is rest and digest, activation of the parasympathetic nervous system. You may have heard of that before. So you're starting to understand the less you breathe, the more powerful it is. It's not breathing more through your mouth to get more oxygen. You get more air, but less oxygen. If we've got time later on, I'll share more about nasal breathing. But the ideal breath is in and out your nose. That is how we need to breathe. And there was a book written in 1901 by Yogi Ramacharaka, and he says in there, you don't eat through your nose, so don't breathe through your mouth. Now, mouth breathers, extremely dangerous. You're going to calm your nervous system by breathing through your nose. So I've been helping my clients for quite a few years in breathing techniques to help them really break outside of that stress state. But many of us, as what the results of Gallup have shown, and yourselves here, you're worried about your health and well-being. And breathing will take you to a certain extent, but unless you absolutely, truly ingrain yourself permanently in breathing, to actually heal at a cellular level requires something else. So I was looking for what other protocol could I help my clients who are struggling with osteoarthritis, continuous pain, which is not as a result of trauma or trapped energy, which a lot of it is, but there's something deeper that needs healing. So I earlier this year broached out into regenerative health protocols, more specifically, learning about protocols about stem cell production. Now, stem cells are the most intuitive, important cells in our body. They, in fact, enable our entire being to be here. But as we get older, we have less active stem cells, which is why that you get all these fine lines and wrinkles and your hair goes gray and things droop, which you wouldn't normally want to droop. And so when we find a way naturally, remember, I'm not into drugs, chemicals, I don't do doctors, I haven't done doctors in, I don't know, long time. And a doctor once told me that I'm no good for business. How is he meant to pay for his kids' ski trip in December? So I've been blessed and privileged with that, but not everybody has this. So how do we activate this without the need or outside of needing something artificial taken into our body? Well, I found it. But only after it helped my son come back, or find hope, I should say, after 7 years of struggling with type 1 diabetes, where he was not actually functioning. At the age of 30, he had to move home with us because he could not function. His body did not take insulin. Now, through these protocols of stem cell activation, he detoxed and he started to heal within. Now, he's not cured. I'm not saying he's cured, but he's functioning to the point that for the last 2 months, he's had a job for the first time in 7 years. He's been able to function, focus, his personality's back. And it's all through something called a patch, which looks like this. It's a stem cell activation patch using phototherapy. Now, I'm not going to go through detail with you right now. If you're interested, we can most definitely do that. It removes pain, inflammation, and heals at a cellular level using the power of light. And this is one thing that I've learned, is that breath gives us light. The sun gives us energy. You walk into the sun and they say that you get vitamin D from the sun. Well, you don't actually get vitamin D from the sun, but that light wave when you're in the sun that goes onto your body tells your body to activate and create vitamin D, which is what we need. The sun is our friend, it's not the enemy. And now, of course, Tim forgets to turn his phone off. There we go. Apologies. Let me just do that now. There we go. So the sun is our friend. It's not our enemy. And we need that light because we're light energy beings. So anytime that you can use phototherapy or light for healing, you're on the right path. You're on the right path. When I've added these protocols together with breathing techniques, with realigning the nervous system, the results for my clients have been more than profound, and it absolutely motivates me. It's exciting. It keeps me going. Now, there's one rule that I'd like you to, not one rule, there's one thing that I'd like you to all remember. I'm covering plenty of things here today. But if there's one thing that I urge you to take away from my talk with you today, it's the following. And it's the first thing that I learned when Breathwork discovered me. When I was on Google and this Breathwork stuff came up, it said, breathe through your nose, not your mouth, because it acts as a natural tranquilizer for your nervous system. So calming you if you're stressed or anxious. And that I found fascinating. So here's the one thing. Can anybody guess what it is? If you've worked with me before, you'll know. Shut your mouth. Yep. Shut your mouth. And even on the lagoon, to all my clients, I send them, shut your mouth. I love you. Because that is the first way that you calm your nervous system and you keep yourself connected. That's the one thing that you're going to remember. It would be that. So let's move now talking about how do you breathe in calmer seas. So things are happening. It's functioning. You're in what's called flow state. You're connected to source and it's beautiful. But the stresses around us never go away, do they? They remain there permanently. So how do we keep staying? How do we function at a high level on a consistent basis without burning out? So this is what we're going to be talking now. The first thing to remember is shut your mouth. That's the first. I'm going to share 5 things with you, 5 tips right now. Okay? You may want to write these down. Breathe through your nose. The second one is called mouth taping. Now, you saw on the previous screen there, let me see if I go back. No, wrong way. There we go. I've got the tape going across my mouth. That's actually not wrong. I did that just for the photograph when I was learning how to breathe through my nose running, training for marathon. Mouth taping. So what it means is if you're a mouth breather, especially at night, perhaps you've got a partner that snores or they breathe through their mouth, very dangerous. A little bit of micropore, which is also called M3 tape. It's that surgical tape that you use to help scars heal. Little strip underneath the nose, going down. Just a small strip. Now, this is the only thing that of everything that I teach that I've not personally done. All right, I've not done this one. Everything else that I share with you, I am doing or I have done personally myself. I am a product of the product. But mouth taping is a great way to start teaching your body when you're sleeping to keep your mouth shut and breathe through your nose. Now, the next one, number 3, is when you're walking, you're exercising, you're taking a walk with the dogs, shut your mouth, breathe through your nose. Pay attention to your breath. At the beginning, it's challenging. When I first started to learn these techniques, I decided to push myself. I wanted to see, does this actually work? And so I trained for multiple marathons, and I ran, I think it was 6 half marathons and 1 full marathon in 2023, only breathing in and out my nose. It took me about 5 to 6 months to actually train that way. Are there any joggers here? Any runners? People who love exercise? No one there? Okay. So everywhere I look now, I see people jogging and running, breathing in and out their mouth. Less air, more air, less oxygen. Train to breathe in and out your nose. So become a conscious, connected breather. This is number 4. Find a few minutes every day to pay attention to your breathing. As you sit at your computer, while you're reading a book, you're watching TV. How are you breathing? And in that moment, become aware of your breathing state. And the first thing you may notice, especially if you're in a stressed state, you're breathing in and out your mouth. So what do? We shut our mouths. It's the first thing. And number 5, heart conscious breathing. Now, what is heart conscious breathing? This means doing very similar breathing exercise to what we've just done, where we're breathing in and out our nose only, not out your mouth, in and out your nose to the count of 5, and visualizing that beautiful healing oxygen going to our hearts. We need stronger hearts. We all need to focus on our heart health a lot more than we do. So in that time when you're breathing consciously, just for 1 minute, 3 times a day, visualize that beautiful healing oxygen going to your heart. Lao Tzu says, the perfect man breathes as if he's not breathing. If you ever hear somebody breathe, perhaps you've stood in a shopping line and person behind you, you've heard them breathe, it almost feels like, okay, that feels unhealthy. It doesn't feel good. It's because it's not. Very dangerous. So as Lao Tzu says, when you breathe, the perfect breath is that somebody's actually not going to see you even breathing. Because remember, it's not about the quantity of breaths. It's about the quality of your breathing. And that is going to impact your health and your well-being. When you prioritize diaphragmatic breathing, which I'm going to start talking about in a moment, which is deep belly breaths, and conscious connected breathing, your awareness, this is when you start to get true impacts. And it only needs to take a couple of weeks for you to really start feeling better all around during your day. So why is breathing one of the most powerful tools available? Well, it's about the manipulation of your autonomic nervous system. Stress, you see, is merely an emotional reaction to an external circumstance. What do you have control of? Do you have control of the external stresses of life? Not really. Or do you have control of how you react to that? And you see, your reaction can be changed by manipulating how you breathe. Now, your autonomic nervous system is all of those things that happen automatically inside of us that controls our entire involuntary responses: heartbeat, blood pressure, digestion, sweat, hair growth, breathing, heartbeats. Of all those things that your ANS runs, there's only one that you have control of. Unless you're a guru sitting on a mountain for 20 years learning how to breathe, and you can manipulate your heartbeat. For the rest of us, the one part that God gave us to control our entire metaphysical state, mental, physical, and spiritual state, is our breath. It's the one tool that we all have access to, and yet we're not taught about this. So always remember that stress, anxiety, anger, fear, panic are only internal emotional reactions to external circumstances. And you have control of that. So let's get control of it. What we're going to do now is for those people who are functioning and they're going, right, I'm really on a roll here, but I'm feeling tired. I need to go and have a double espresso. No, because there's the coffee breath, which will replace the double espresso without the downer afterwards to help you stay functioning at a higher level. So this technique is called the coffee breath. Are we ready for it? It's also known as 10, 20, 30 technique. And you can do this anytime you're sitting or lying down. The only time you don't do this is when you're driving. So if you are driving, listening to this, do this later on, right now. It's a great one to do just before your crazy day begins, when you need to charge your energy, or you got a project to do and you're feeling tired and you think, I need that espresso. This is what you do. You boost your energy, focus, and your concentration at the same time. So this is what we do. You start with 10 breaths, then we're going to hold for 10 seconds on the out breath. Then we're going to do 20 breaths, hold for 20, 30 breaths, hold for 1 minute. Okay, some people just laugh there, right? Ellen, it can be done. Okay, or as long as you can. Now, the style of breathing that we're going to do is an activating breath. Just like your nasal breathing is calming, breathing through your mouth like this activates and awakens. Right? So you only ever breathe through your mouth when you're doing it for a specific purpose like what we're doing. So the faster, the better. That's why you're sitting down or lying down. So it's going to look like this. Okay? You're panting like a dog if you want. But here's the key thing. When you breathe in, make sure your belly is going out. So while you're sitting there, even if you need to put your hands on your hips and with your fingers around your belly, breathing in and out your belly is essential because that is the ideal breath. Okay? Not your chest. So we want to activate the diaphragm. All right. Now we're going to do 10 of them. Then we're going to hold for 10, 20, hold for 20, 30, and hold for 30. As always, I'm going to count you in. We're ready for this. Now, if you find that you are getting too lightheaded, just slow down for a moment. But if you can, keep up with this, because I've been doing this a lot, so I'm able to do this. But if you're not used to breathing like this, you may struggle at the beginning, and that's fine. Just like exercise, you need to continuously practice it. So you are, as you're consciously connecting to your breathing now, going to continue to practice. Are we ready? And we're letting our air out. 3, 2, 1. Now, in and out our mouths. Let's go. And breathe out and hold. Four, 3, 2, 1. 20 breaths. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your air out and hold. If you're feeling a buzz, that's fine. If you're feeling lightheaded, that's okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 30 breaths. Keep going, keep going. You're doing well. You're doing well. I've got a dog there breathing as well. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, breath out, and hold. 30 seconds, 1 minute. Let's go. Just feel that calm. The energy's buzzing. Your ears are buzzing. You can feel your heartbeat. Your head is lightheaded. You're feeling it tingling in your feet and your hands. Hold your breath. You've got this. You can. 10 seconds. And when I say now, you're going to take a beautiful breath in through your mouth or your nose. It doesn't matter. Lifting your arms. Let's go. Breathe in. And a big sigh. How are we feeling now? Somebody said they were feeling sleepy earlier on. Elsa, but not anymore, right? Now you're awake, wide awake. You're active, you're busy, you can focus. If you had a problem before, you can now find the solution because we got out of our minds and we just breathed. CO2's pumping, oxygenated blood. That's how you remain functioning on an ongoing basis without hitting that burnout. But now make sure after this you come back to breathing. How do we breathe? In and out our nose. So on to the last breathing technique very quickly to cover this, transformational breath work. So as I'm busy investigating and learning all these different modalities, some of which I've shared with you already, I eventually come across this guy by the name of Brian, and he became my mentor and coach for a long time. And what he taught me was that these breathing techniques are phenomenal in the moment, but they're the same as taking a painkiller if you get a headache. It helps with that headache, or it helps with feeling down or anxious or stressed, but it doesn't root out the underlying cause of that negative emotional reaction. So there's something a lot deeper that I specialize in called transformational breathwork journeys. It's a 1 hour deep guided meditative session where I combine what's called holotropic breathing, which is mouth breathing in and out your belly, with NLP, which is a style of communication called neuro-linguistic programming, and music. Because what we're doing is getting out of our conscious thinking egoic mind and deep into theta brainwave state, which is very calming. And in that state, your body is able to release trauma, anxieties. Your subconscious mind, you're able to change paradigms and how you think about stressful situations, which is 95% of our activity. I teach a lot more about that with my clients in my programs. And it fascinated me, but I didn't quite understand that until I went on my first journey. And this is my gift to you when you connect with me, is to invite you for your first session for free, the same way that Brian did to me. And when I came out of that experience, it was as if a reset button had been hit for my mind, my body, and my soul. And for the first time in years, I felt calm, stress-free, at peace. My brain fog was lifting, and it was amazing. And it's that experience that I wish for you as we dive deeper into what really helps people release and restore on an energetic level, on a deep cellular level, and also realigning your nervous system, which gets shot, as we were explaining earlier on. So that's my gift to you. It's transformational, and it is highly impactful. Your first session with me, with my compliments, that is 750 Rand. And from there, we'll talk about working further. So here's a very quick story from Ursula. Now, Ursula is a high-performance coach. She's a professional speaker. And she came to me not because of workplace stress, she runs her own business, because of family stress. And it was the traumatic issue she was having with her mom and her sister. And it was really impacting her on an emotional level, so much to the extent that she actually, as a runner, couldn't run further than, I think it was about 12 kilometers before her right calf cramped up like this. She joined me for my program, and I think it was only about 2 weeks into the 5-week program that she sent me a message on a Sunday. She said, "Tim, I've just run a half marathon." Now, I didn't know until this point that she had an issue with her calf because she had never connected it. After 12, I think it was 12 kilometers, her calf would cramp, like I've said. This day, she went for a full run and didn't stop because her calf never cramped. And to this day, we connect on an ongoing basis. She's never had an issue with her calf. And she said, "I think that my calf had some trapped energy, trauma that was cramping up, that a masseuse didn't help, pain pills didn't help, anti-inflammatories didn't help, the chiropractor didn't help." Breathing calmed her and released this. It was the only thing that she did differently. And that is just one of many stories that I can share with you of people who have found release. Specifically neck pain, shoulder pain, you're stressed, you're sitting at your computer, your muscles are cramped up. A masseuse is not going to deal with that for you. So there's the QR code again. And as I said to you, it's also in the chats down there. Set the time up with me. Because here's what it's like to work with me. I work with people. So when we do start working together, which I hope we will, is that we don't just have a session a week. Because this is transformation, I am with my clients throughout. Traumatic during the week. I had a client last week who messaged me. She was busy heading for a panic attack. She was at work. She didn't know what was going on. She said, help. We jumped on a quick call for 10 minutes, just a WhatsApp call. We spoke a little bit. I took her through some breathing. As she's going through and understanding, she needs to do this breathing before, not during the panic attack. That's what I teach as well. And it helped absolutely calm her down. And we did that by following a different breathing technique similar to resonant breath. And in 60 seconds, it calmed her entire nervous system. So I understand that while you're going through this and you're learning about conscious connected breathing, learning about how to reset your own nervous system so that you can continue this for the rest of your life, that it's a program and a journey. So that's how I work. But at the same time, this year when we connect, there it is, it's not a sales call. If you decide that you want to work with me, then we jump onto that in a separate time, but that's for separate discussion. So we've been going through the waves of life, how to breathe at different stages. There's me breathing on Langebaan Lagoon. That's my activating breath that I do every week. And if you breathe with me when you're here in person, if you are, then that's the one that we do. And my happy Henry sitting there as we always walk. Now I'm going to stop sharing here.